Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. My name is Derek, and today I'm joined by
Aaron.
and
Angel.
yes, and we're going to be discussing what's happening on GH this week. We're discussing episodes that air from March 3rd to March 7th, 2025. Time you roll the credits, and we'll get right into it. This is a good week. Very, like a lot happened.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it should have been a February sweeps week, I feel like. But
Yeah.
maybe they're a little behind.
March sweeps party. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Here's party.
All right, so we'll get right into it. At Bobby's, Lulu and Sonelli finally reunite. Lulu's been back for like 6 months, and this is the first time they've seen each other.
This happened with Jason. Remember, it took
Yeah,
forever for Spinelli to run into Jason, and it's like the town is not that big.
yeah, it's really not. They should have definitely seen each other. She saw
I-
James.
Right away. What are you doing in my house?
Yes.
What are you doing in my house?
So she asked Sonelli for help in getting past Valentine's security system because they're going to go search his house.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up going over there, and Spinelli tells, I laugh when Spinelli tells her, there's a 70% chance that that I disarm the security, and Lou's like, I like those odds.
Like, yeah.
I like that he followed her in. Like he was just like, well, as long as we're in together.
Yeah.
We're in it
And
to win it.
Yeah.
so it ended up working, and they get in. So meanwhile, Lucy ends up showing up with Sonny, who is looking for a new place to live. She tells him it's a very secure home and that she's trying to sell him on it. Then Christina shows up and tells
of
him that
nowhere.
Valentine used
Right.
to live here. And Sonny's kind of thrown off about this, and Lucy's like, "Yeah, I didn't mention that." I'm like, "Yeah, Lucy, sure."
Well, Lucy says, she's like, I wanted you to fall in love with this house before you found out that's
And she
whose
did.
it was. Because
Mhm.
it's got the grounds, it's got Fort Knox security, it's got this cute
Mhm.
little app on the phone, can lock the door from here.
Yes, that was
And
the selling point for her.
yeah. But
She
you know
loves
what
that.
it would be you, right? Like you come up to the house and you just push the button and the door unlocks. I would hate that. I'm a key girl. I need to have a metal key.
Yeah.
Get
Oh,
her
after
metal
some
Was out.
consideration, Sonny decides to buy the place because Avery needs a comfortable home, and
Christina turns around on that house like in 10 seconds
She
flat.
knows. She
she
doesn't.
did. She really
I-
did.
What was the point of her showing up?
I don't
Mhm.
know.
It was
She
weird.
just kind of showed up out of
What
nowhere
was
too.
even the
How
point
did
of her
Christina
being
get
there?
here?
I mean,
It makes me think she has magical abilities and she just kind of like teleported in and then teleported back out. Like she was
Right?
like magic.
I mean, it might have been a follow up to that conversation they had at Bobby's, but
Oh, right.
That's
yeah,
possible, yeah.
last week, yeah, but still, I mean, like she just appears out of nowhere.
Making the connections out here.
Mhm.
I literally
Uh-huh.
what?
So after
Why?
they finally leave, Lulu's relieved, and she tells Sonali they need to go to Martin's office so she can find the fruit that she needs to find Charlotte. All right, so we'll talk about Miami next. Brad and Lucas are in Miami, and they reconnect, and they get hot and heavy.
Mhm.
I enjoyed seeing them together. I'm glad, but Brad messes it all up and confesses
By
that
telling the truth?
by telling the truth,
Mhm.
which he should have, I guess. But
I guess?
well, he messed up his reconciliation with Lucas.
No, Derek, you were just hoping they'd sleep together before he found out.
Pretty much.
And like everybody clutched their pearls.
Well, okay, so I look at it two ways. Brad shouldn't have said anything if he wanted Lucas back, but Brad did the right thing and told him, showing that he changed, but Lucas doesn't see it that way.
Can I say that Brad was never going to win in this
He wasn't.
situation? Lucas set him up for failure. On one hand, he tells him, I don't want you to lie to me. I want everything to be out in the open. And
Mhm.
Brad takes that to heart and he tells him everything. And then he goes, you're a scumbag who does scumbag things. And he's like, you just told me not to lie to you. And then like they went through that whole story about them going on the trip that Lucas wanted to go on. And it sounded like my worst nightmare, which was like camping without the glamping. So I didn't really want to go. And he's like, it would have been hot and miserable. And he's like, why would you go on that trip with me, Brad? And he's like, because you wanted me to. And I wanted to be a better person for you. And he's like, I don't want any of that pressure on you, except all of that pressure on you immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I was like, Lucas needs therapy.
Yeah. But I felt bad for Brad. He told the truth and he ended up getting screwed over. So,
So he doesn't win either way. He lies. He doesn't get what he
right.
wants. He wants the truth. He doesn't get what he wants.
Yeah, poor Brad. He's trying to be a better person. It's just not working
He
out.
should stop. Be a worse person, Brad.
Do it
Well,
for
now I
Brit.
think he
He
will
wasn't
be.
Do it
brought
for
up.
Brit.
Well, now I think he will, but we'll talk about that in speculation. But I think he's going to start, reverting
I
back.
don't want Brad to really have like a villain arc because he's just a soft boy when it comes down to it. Like he is a sweet.
Yeah,
He's usually the only reason he does bad things is because he's backed into a corner.
that is
Mhm.
true.
And he
Mhm.
tends to be opportunistic. So I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he is a sucker sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so at the Q's, Tracy meets with Alexis because Diane is not available. She asks Martin to come over so they can settle the cease and desist matter.
Mhm.
Tracy and Martin bicker, which was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was.
uh, she finally caves in and decides she's not going to pursue the cease and desist order
For 5 seconds.
for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Martin takes this as an admission of guilt, and he says he's going to report it. The property lines are the grave sites are on the property lines. So then Tracy changes her mind again and decides to move forward because then Tracy summons Dante over to arrest Martin.
This man is trespassing on my property. I don't want him here. Arrest him. And Alexis is like, I invited him here.
Yes.
And then she's like, out, everyone out.
Get out of Monica's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Gio comes in and he reminds Tracy of something his mother said, the 5-5 rule. Will this matter in 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years? And Tracy, it gets to Tracy because it reminds her of something Lila used to say, but I don't think she ever said what Lila used
Nope.
She never said that.
to say.
Of course, like how Lila mentioned.
It does sound like something Lila would say.
What's that?
Yes.
But I don't,
Mhm.
unless it, like, I mean, come on. They probably had a billion zillion conversations off screen.
Yeah.
And Lila was always very like forgive and forget. I mean, when she found
Mhm.
out about Jimmy Lee, she actually looked for Jimmy Lee for Edward. So like her husband had a full-on affair multiple times and had
Yeah.
multiple children out of wedlock. And she would just be like, welcome to the family.
Exactly.
Which is insane, by the way.
So Tracy decides that the quartermain name is important and she wants to move forward the season. So that's where we are with that. Drew, let's talk about Drew for a little bit. Drew interrupts Curtis and Portia at the Metro Court and calls him out for getting Congressman Henderson on his side. No, voting against him, sorry.
Right.
Drew vows to make him pay for this. And
He got jokes today.
yeah. Drew then goes to see Selena, and Selena gives him something on Portia that he's been looking for because she said she doesn't have anything on Curtis, but she has something on Portia. So she gives him the lab results that Brad recently gave to her. So Drew has leverage now on Portia.
We knew this was going to come back to bite Portia in the butt eventually.
Yes. I honestly thought Selena might blackmail Portia.
There's less there's less she needs out of Portia than she needs out of Drew.
Right.
So she's making power moves as always.
Right.
Selena Wu,
I
best character ever.
didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to go a different way, but I liked what they did.
I was really surprised at how fast they turned that evidence into plot. Like I thought they might hold on to it for a minute so you don't know when she was going to use it. But she dropped it perfectly. Using it with Drew was great.
Too. I didn't think it was going to happen that fast either.
Pretty like she does not wait to turn a profit on stuff.
No, Selena does not waste time.
And I like how Drew looks at the paperwork and it's like,
yeah,
he's doing me well.
He's like, can you tell me what I'm looking at? Because me too. I would have been like, what the heck is this?
All right, so we'll talk about Sasha. Sasha tells Jason about Carly's offer to work at the Metro Court and live there as well. Jason makes an offer to take care of Sasha financially, and Sasha is against this. And then she turns around and Sidwell makes an offer to her, saying that he'll give her $250,000 to change her story and blame everything on Holly.
And then I gave Sasha an offer.
Right, right. I'm like, this made no sense. I was like, what is happening here?
Okay, let's break down how this doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay.
First she gets a job offer that she's not qualified for.
Right.
At all, not even a little bit. She's not qualified. I'm sorry, you're a house cook, not a chef. I could see maybe coming up with menus, but insane. People go to school for years to be a head chef. This is nuts. But anyway, Lulu became a reporter in 5 minutes. It is a soap. I'm going to let it go. But then the offer from Jason makes so much sense. Jason's like, take my money and do whatever you want with it. No strings attached. And she's like, no, there's strings attached. And he's like, what strings? I just don't want you to die. He's like, just take care of yourself. And she's like, no, you don't understand. If I take charity, I can't be my own person. Enter Sidwell like a creeper onto a property that's supposed to have cameras and security. And Sidwell's being followed, like he's under surveillance in this town. He pops into the kitchen like a creeper and is just like, hey, by the way, don't call the cops and I'll give you $250K if you just shut up about everything that happens. And you know what? She takes these offers and she goes, I could take the Quartermain money. No strings attached, except they're going to be annoying about what schools the kids go to. I can take free money from Jason, absolutely zero strings, except he might want to protect me from murderers. Or I can take this random money from this nut who tried to murder me. What's your logic, Sasha?
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
I don't get it either.
I would have took money from all three.
Right?
Yes, please. I'm very poor.
Getting back to Sidwell.
Beautiful ghetto.
Yeah. So getting back to Sidwell, Jason goes after Sidwell after he leaves Sasha, and we find out that Sidwell's not the person that's going after Sunny, as Jason has questioned him about this. So,
yeah, all he says is, nope. Right? Jason's like, I believe him.
Yeah. It couldn't be Sidwell. That was not his word.
He said he didn't do it, and I believe him. And like Anna's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, right? Okay,
I loved Anna in that scene,
this
by
is
the way.
fun. Maxie catches Lulu outside of Martin's hotel room. Lulu is going in there to snoop while Maxie is on the lookout for Martin. That was really fun.
This is a classic soaps mess
So Martin
around.
comes back to the hotel. Maxie makes up some story about
Insane
deception.
story.
And then she gets him out of there, takes him down to the Metro Court. And it's this whole thing where she keeps trying to stall him, and she spills, what does she spill on herself?
Wine. And then she makes him get her club soda. And then they're finally settled down. Yeah, it's so funny because they're finally settled down drinking and relaxing after all of that craziness. And she's like, well, I'm good. Bye.
Right?
And then she breaks up like her Lucy's relationship with him. Like, oh man, you guys should get back together.
Yes, she did everything. She was like, I have nothing. I'm gonna pull everything. I'm gonna make up stuff. She wants him to work as their lawyer because she doesn't trust the lawyers that they have. And she gets around Tracy, and then she offers Lulu on a plate, and she just keeps going and going and going. And she even pretends to be drunk when she's outside the hotel room. Her first gambit is, I'm drunk and you owe me and you should talk to Lucy. Like, because she starts at, you should get back together with Lucy, and ends on, you should work at deception. Like, she was insane. And I have never seen such great acting in like 5. This is so funny because like this is such a Tad Martin situation to be in.
It really is.
I really like Michael E. Knight, and I think he did such a good job.
They both did a great job.
It was hilarious. They were amazing together. Very comedic. I miss that stuff.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
I loved it. And then of course we had James this week too. So we really had a lot of fun from
oh my God, yes.
the Scorpio clan.
Yeah, and so meanwhile Lulu looks through Martin's papers. She finds out that Brooklyn had a child with Dante.
No, the surprise. That isn't a surprise.
Yeah, the surprise that isn't a surprise.
For any of us.
Everybody knows except for
the characters involved.
Yeah, she takes screenshots on her phone, Martin's notes, and then she messes up the papers a little bit, and when she puts them back, Martin takes note of this later, that something's wrong when he meets with Lois, but we'll get to that in a second. So we'll talk about Willow, our favorite person right now. Willow
Great.
meets with Carly.
I
And
hate her. She's just dumb. Like, I actually like her more now that she's involved in a storyline, but God.
she's Willow meets with Carly and Nina at the Metrocart, and she tells them that she's moving in with Drew. Carly does not take this well and thinks that she should wait till Michael's out of the hospital. Nina keeps her cool, but she's not pleased at all. I love Willow. I love Carly laying into Willow about this, and just
she's not wrong, to be honest. Like,
she's not. No.
If you came home from the hospital and found out that not only your wife had cheated on you, which you knew, but then she took your children and moved them in with her affair partner, who is also your uncle. And Willow's like, listen, we're divorced, so we're getting divorced. It doesn't really matter what I do. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so dumb. Yeah. But it was funny because then when because she's dumb. She's really dumb.
So dumb.
But like they leave the table and Carly's like, oh, congratulate me for playing the heavy for you. So they are working together.
Yeah, right.
I just love the look that Cynthia Watros and Laura Wright gave to Willow.
Yeah.
Like just the looks on their faces. It was just so great.
Yeah, they are. I like actually seeing them play off of each other because they're both incredibly talented, and then to see them
and then they knew each other since Guiding Light,
right? And they're powerhouse characters, and now they're in scenes together, and it's so much fun. It's like they hate each other, but they hate Drew more, and I love that. That's my favorite team up.
Yes, it's amazing. I hope they end up working together.
They are. They already are. Carly put Nina in a position to be the only person that Willow trusts. She bolstered Nina's relationship with Willow by playing the heavy. And she even told her, she said, thank me for that because I made it. So she's going to turn to you because they all know Drew's pushing everyone away.
Right.
So Nina has to be the yes man and Carly has to be the heavy because that's the only way they're going to keep the relationships out of Drew's control.
Yes. Very clever.
Yeah.
So Jason and Anna meet in the debate about whether or not it's telling the truth about not being responsible for the explosion at Sunny's. And this is also where Sasha accepts Sidwell's offer, which we talked about already. But
I'll take that one. The bad offer.
Drew corners Portia, and he wants her to fix the mess that he and Curtis made. He wants them to patch. He wants her to help them patch things up. Portia says this is not going to happen. She doesn't know why she's asking him this. And then Drew blackmails her with the test results. Look on Portia's face. She was so shook. I felt bad for Portia. I really did.
What does Drew think that Portia can do? Like drugs and hypnosis? Curtis hates him.
He can do. Like,
honey, I think you should really talk out your problems with that guy that stabbed you in the back a lot of times. How do you feel about that? How about no?
Maybe you should patch things up with him, honey.
God.
I don't know. But so Portia turns to Ava for guidance, and Ava suggests...
Love that for her.
Yes. And she goes to Rick for help. Ava asks her whether or not she wants to do Drew's bidding or lose Curtis. So that's
Ava's like, how do you feel about lying? And
then Portia says, well, these are my options unless Drew was dead. So I thought that was
they better not kill Drew. No killing Drew. No more dead characters. You can shoot him a little bit.
Yeah.
You can stab him a little.
So then have a shooting mystery, I mean.
They haven't done a good murder mystery in years. Either the person ends up dead and they stay dead for years and we don't know what happens, like Gatling Holt, or we have whatever the heck that thing with John Cates was. That was terrible.
And they still haven't gotten back to that.
And even with Cyrus, it's not a murder mystery. We know who did it. Where's the mystery?
And we been knew when he killed Sam and Dex that it was Cyrus. I mean,
because there was no one else there on the canvas that would have a reason to kill either Lulu or Sam. They're both beloved in town, and Lulu hadn't been in a storyline for 4 years. So, I mean, so no more murders because they don't know how to do a murder mystery right now.
No, but I would love a good shooting mystery. Like, who shot Drew?
How about a nice little stabbing? Just a, just a little
I would
stab.
have minded who shot Drew. That'd be fun.
No.
You won't die. It's okay.
He's
No
not gonna
murder.
die. He's just gonna.
You guys.
He's just gonna have amnesia and not remember who shot him.
These are just a little graze to the head. Just
Graze
a
to the
little.
head. It's like Carly back in the day, remember?
Mhm. All right, Lulu meets with Cody to get more intel about Brooklyn and her pregnancy back that summer when they were in camp.
Suckers them.
Yeah, she definitely does suckers him. She acts like she already knows, which the Luke Brooklyn told her, and Cody takes the bait, hook, line, and sinker.
I think Cody's a little drunk pretty much all the
he
time.
was.
Yeah.
And she kept giving him beers too, so that helps.
Yeah.
Have another beer. What do you think about Brooklyn's summer?
Right. Tell me about that summer at summer camp.
Summer band camp.
Band camp, yeah. Lois later hears Dante, Cody, Gio, and Emma chatting about summer camp those days, and then she gets super nervous about it.
Everything's falling apart for poor Lois.
Everything's falling apart for Lois, yeah. She then goes to the Metro Court and to see Martin, and she feels, and Martin, this is when Martin discovers the papers look like they were tampered with, and Lois wants to burn them to be on the safe side.
And he's just like, you're being ridiculous. And then he realizes they were moved around. So maybe not so ridiculous, huh?
Yep. Anna talks to Jason about the kill order on Valentine. Jason is surprised to hear about Brennan and Carly in Germany, and this is the first he's heard of this.
I love that. That was so. He's like, apparently, no one tells me anything.
I think your best friend Carly would tell you, but I guess not.
I know Steve Burton's portrayal of Jason in that moment was just like, what the hell? Carly and I are supposed to be.
Yeah,
it was great. He is. This is my favorite Jason run ever. I gotta say that every couple months. Best Jason run ever. So good.
It's like you got re-energized or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with you. I feel like everything's a lot fresher this time around. He's doing different things, and even though they still kind of have him pandering to Sonny, like he's more involved with his son, with his family, with Anna. When we get to it, we'll talk about the boys and what happened with the brothers. But like he's so much more interesting. His relationship with Tracy is interesting. Everything's so much better for him. He's got a storyline for once, and it's not stand there and have zero emotions and say no comment.
And wear a black shirt all the time.
Oh my God. I was just talking to my mom about that, and I'm like, is his closet full of 67 black shirts, one leather jacket, and a pair of jeans?
Elizabeth Holmes or is he Steve Jobs? Who knows? Who cares?
Who knows? They're like, Jason, we have a tuxedo for you to wear today. And he's like, oh, what?
What?
All right, so Jason knows that Anna is worried about Charlotte, so he says as soon as they get a lead, they will go look for her.
Yeah, because she keeps saying, we're a good team. And he's like, we are a good team. And she's like, well, then let's do it together.
Right.
And I love that.
Meanwhile, Rocco tells Danny that Charlotte just texted him and that she is in Buenos Aires. Rocco doesn't want to tell Lulu because she thinks Lulu's going to run off to try to find her.
Correct.
Yeah, which she's right about. And then Danny shows Jason the text when he shows up, and then this results in a fight between Danny and Rocco. And then Dante walks in and breaks up the fight, and they claim it's over a girl.
But they do a really good job of expressing their hurt and upset, because Danny is upset that it always seems to be at the expense of his family that Rocco's family gets help. But at the same time, Danny volunteered Jason for that mission to basically protect Lulu and Rocco. So he kind of put them in that position. But Jason is probably, because of this TV show, makes him very much the hero, that he is the right person for the job.
Right.
Why not send an assassin and a spy?
Right. And Rocco also doesn't think it was Danny's place to tell Jason.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
But, we have to move the storyline along, so
Plus, they're growing up, and the young guys, they have to become more complicated characters. They can't just be like, everything's fine, Dad. They have to actually have complicated emotions now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So Jason then meets up with Anna, and they decide to go to Buenos Aires right away to rescue Charlotte.
He's just like, let's go. She's like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't know. Yeah, they're going to Buenos Aires. Awesome.
I love this. This is fun.
Yeah, so this was so much fun. We see James. Felicia brings him into GH because he was sledding on the roof.
Off the roof. Off the roof.
Yeah. Oh my God, this kid is so funny. I love this kid so much. He broke his arm and he has to get a cast, and Isaiah's really cool with him, and Will even gives him some reassurance, and it was fun. It was so good to see him.
He chose a pink cast because it's his mom's favorite color, and he was trying to score points.
Yeah.
He was so funny when he was like, "Are you gonna tell my mom?" And Felicia's like, "I can't keep this from your mom."
I don't lie to I don't keep secrets from my daughter. And he's like, "Rat."
Oh my God. Hopefully we see more of him. I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, he's so much fun.
Drew met with Elizabeth about a new sports-related program. They didn't really. I thought there was going to be a different interaction with the two of them. I thought maybe Elizabeth was going to tell him to like stop being so evil, but
she's not in that storyline at all. She's not involved.
No, I know.
And it's a pediatrics program because of his son Oscar, who died, and then we never mentioned him again once Billy Miller was gone.
Right.
This is actually the very first Oscar reference that we've had in
I was going to mention this. So Kai shows up to talk to Drew about the program, and he's with Trina, and then Drew says he started the program to honor Oscar, and I was thinking the whole time, like, Oscar would be so proud of you right now, Drew. He really would.
First off, you know that this program isn't to honor Oscar, but to make sure that he can monitor Willow at her job.
Absolutely, yes.
We're not fools, Drew. We know what's happening.
Obsessed with her. He needs to make sure he knows where she is and what she's doing at all times.
Yes, so now he's got inroads at her job. Also, Willow was really cute because she liked working in the ER and Isaiah liked working with her. So maybe there's hope for her.
Yeah, maybe.
And Trina is kind of cautious in the way she talks to Drew.
She was. She was she's probably fully aware of what's going on with Drew and Curtis right now, so she was very weary to talk to him.
Yeah, she was, but I mean, she was very diplomatic, I would say.
And Kai was like, any friend of Trina's is a friend of mine, and Trina just looked on her face.
Oh God, Trina needs a storyline so badly.
I know.
Can she not just join the WSB? She's so cool. Why are they wasting her in this boring storyline?
I know.
And I thought it was interesting that I know maybe we'll get to that on Patreon side, but I really want to bring this up. People were kind of complaining that Trina was saying that Drew saved her, but that wasn't how I read the scene.
Did he save her and Spencer, I believe, back in
back when? Yeah, I think she was just referencing events that happened before. I don't.
Events that happened, and then Drew was like, "No, it wasn't just me. It was Curtis and."
Oh yeah.
I forget who the other person was. Yeah.
So again, he's pretending that this huge schism between him and her father is not happening because she is also kind of doing that. So I feel like you're right. I think the read on the scene was probably more complicated than this is what happened. It's more like we're all trying to remember what happened because right now everything is terrible.
Yes. So Portia consults with Rick, and I enjoyed this scene as well.
Yeah,
Rick tells her to play along with Drew until he can figure out a strategy, and Drew is pleased to find out that Portia is willing to go along with him. So
Rick in that conversation, he was like, "Woof, you're between a rock and a hard place. Look what you did."
Right? You're between a rock and a hard place.
Right? And he's like, "Well, listen, you either got to do what he wants to do, or you got to like face the music and tell Curtis." And then towards the end, he's like, "How about you keep your mouth shut fake it till you make it, and I'll go find out what the legal ramifications are for your medical license and all that. He's like, play the game. I'll be back. And he runs into Liz on the way to the elevators. And Liz is like, what are you doing here, trying to stop and talk to him? And he's like, I gotta go, I'm busy. And she finds out that he was meeting with Portia. And of course she's like, why? And so that's gonna give you a little hint into maybe Elizabeth getting onto that storyline, which would be great.
That would be fun, yeah.
We got to get Lucky out of bed, up and out of bed, Luck. We got to get back to work.
I wonder if Lucky's still in bed because we haven't seen him this week. I guess he's still in the hospital.
I'm assuming as a teacher, he escaped and went home. No one knows he left the hospital.
His bed sheets.
Hospital bed.
He went out the window.
Climb down GH, which is actually if you're thinking outside of GH, that's kind of weird.
It would be so hard. You'd have to go down a layer and then.
Yeah. So we'll get to Lulu confiding in Carly about what she learned about Brooklyn, and this was a really great scene between the two of them. And Carly reminds her that Lulu had an abortion in high school, and with Dylan, and she says that she can't judge Brooklyn too harshly.
Also, Bobby.
I think Carly really gave Lulu some food for thought, but of course Lulu doesn't listen.
Listen, I'll say it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Laura Wright is the only Carly who's ever had any character development at all. All the other Carlys were very one note. I love Sonny. I hate anyone who gets near Sonny. Jason is mine and no one's allowed to talk to him. That was like basically Carly for 20 years. And then Laura Wright gets in and she's just so much more nuanced about it. It makes her like a little less likely to scream in people's faces, which is sometimes sad. But this scene, she was like, I am the person that came back from being adopted out and I tried to ruin my mother's life. You have to understand that Bobby was a young hooker. She gave away the baby. Like she did the best she could for herself. Brooklyn did the best she could for herself and you did the best for you. So shut your mouth. And then she's like, all you're going to do is ruin a bunch of lives and you really have no business being involved. And Lulu's like, but I have to go and see Dante and look in his eyes and then I'll know what I'm going to do. And Carly's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have that weird scene where she stares at Dante oddly and he's like, what?
For a second.
Yeah.
Going back to that conversation, didn't Carly also bring up the whole Michael situation with AJ?
Yes, and she's absolutely a jerk for that. That scenario that she made up in her little mind is not what happened.
No, it's not.
Robin
did tell, but
Yeah, but Carly was trying to pass that kid off as Tony's, as Jason was trying to tell AJ it wasn't his. I mean, she was doing all kinds of nonsense. I kind of love how realistic this is, that like when Carly looks back on her past, she rewrites it to make herself look like a better character. Even as she's saying, I was a terrible person, but not as terrible as you'd think. I mean, I'm not that bad.
That bitch Robin, I can't stand her.
Still. And like she poured alcohol all over AJ and threw him in an alley where he could have been killed just because she didn't want her son to be raised as a Quartermaine, which he in fact was a Quartermaine. Sasha. And I'm not a fan of this scenario. I feel bad. Also, like, I don't know, when we get into the conversations with Tracy, when Tracy was talking to Sonny and told him off, the fact that when Tracy talks to Gio later, which I'm sure you'll get into, that she didn't bring up the fact that he murdered AJ and should still be in prison.
Yep.
Like that was her nephew.
Well, yeah.
Sonny has murdered members of Tracy's family. So when you turn around and you say, why wouldn't you want to be involved with Sonny? He's so great. He's so wonderful. Like, well, he murdered my nephew. Just shot him point blank in the chest. Oh, by the way, he also shot your boy Dante in the chest. Again, he likes to shoot people point blank in the chest. Did you know? Because we all cover that up in Port Charles. But Dante almost died. And AJ did die. So.
All right. Well, I was actually going to bring that up next. So Sonny shows up at the Quartermaines with the paperwork for Gio's educational trust.
Yes, he's a wonderful man.
Yes. Tracy is not pleased about this and doesn't think that Gio should take any of Sonny's money. And this is where he should have brought up the fact that, all the harm that Sonny has done to her family. But
she does obliquely reference it later
she
because she does
does.
talk about how he likes to take in young, vulnerable human beings and destroy
Like
their
Karen.
lives, like Karen, like Jason, like Stone.
Like
Yes,
Stone.
she brought up Stone and Karen, which I was like, oh, Tracy, you weren't in town back then. I guess she didn't.
Nobody cares. Karen rules, whatever. Everyone in town knew about Karen. Alan was involved with Karen's mom. Like, come on.
I'm sure somebody told her about that.
Oh yeah, because exactly when Tracy left, I know exactly when Stone came. So yeah, she was.
But here's the thing: just because they're not on the campus doesn't mean she wasn't talking to her brother all the time.
That is true.
And he did date Rhonda for a while.
Oh, I'm sure that he knows. She knew. I'm sure she found out.
Well, Ned was in town too, so
yeah, they hated Sonny, so they probably gossiped about it every week. They're like, "This, she still got Jason."
So this pisses Lois off.
No, he's a hypocrite. I agree with Ned.
Yeah, this pisses Lois off, and she goes to see Sonny, and she asks, Sonny asks Lois if she thinks that Tracy is right, and Lois is like, no, I mean, like you were, always been good to Gio. I appreciate it, blah 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 blah.
Sonny, you're the head of the mob.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
Right. Exactly.
Quit the mob. Grow up.
All right, so we'll talk about Alexis and Sidwell next. So,
oh, that was good.
So Natalia leaves. Notice how I glossed over Natalia.
She doesn't matter.
Wait, I don't know who that is.
They just snark.
No, don't tell me who she is because I'm glossing it over too.
Yeah, we're glossing it over. We're glossing over her.
Their conversation is just basically, what do you want with deception? And he's like, to sell them minerals. And she's like, I don't believe you. And he's like, I don't care.
I don't care.
It's like a conversation.
Right.
It's a shame because Eva LaRue is so pretty.
She is.
She's pretty.
She's pretty. She's so wasted.
She's a great actress. It's just they introduced her poorly and none of us are letting it go.
No, not letting it go.
Never letting it go.
Man, if this was Maria, I would be in heaven.
I would still hate her, Maria.
Oh no, because I would think about Erica and calling her Erica and that push-up bra.
Then she had the baby. What are you?
Evan's baby, by the way. Thank you.
All my children. Drop it
anyway,
into the chat.
So Sidwell pulls out the dagger that Helena used to kill Alexis' mother, Kristen, and Alexis has no idea how this dagger got in his possession because she threw it into a river, lake?
In the harbor. She threw it in the harbor.
In the harbor, okay.
She popped it out the window.
In the harbor. Yeah, she threw it out the window.
Right. So Alexis ends up telling Sidwell the whole story about how, Helena murdered her mother when she was a child right in front of her. Sidwell's very sympathetic, but Alexis touches the dagger. Well, she puts her hand all over it. She's looking at it. Then she puts it down. Sidwell asks her if she wants to take it with her. She says, no, it's yours now. And then Sidwell picks it up, and he picks it up with a cloth, and he leaves her fingerprints on it. So I wonder what that's all about.
So what would have been super funny is if he said you could take it with you, and she'd picked it up and thrown it right back out the window. Back in the harbor.
Right? It would have been funny.
He had that case, right? And he opened the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh no, because I recognized it. Why? That was a million years ago. But he's holding it up and he's just he's walking around the room with he's holding it and offering it to her. Then when he knows it's the murder weapon, he's still doing that, like to keep her off balance. So he has a whole plan. And then he put it on the table and went to get a drink and left it open again. So she's faced with this thing the entire time. And she looks so freaked. And he wants her off balance, but why does he need her fingerprints on that particular knife?
Yeah, it's really weird.
And we'll talk about that in speculation.
Yeah, I want to hear your speculation on that for sure, because I don't have any on that one.
Also, comment some down below if you have any.
Yes, please. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get into Carly and Brennan. Carly and Brennan meet at the Metro Court. She talks about Jocelyn, and then then Brennan looks on his phone and through his reports on Jocelyn, and he's very pleased. A woman named Vivian shows up and flirts with Brennan, and Carly's very jealous. And I actually recognize the girl who plays Vivian. And she was on Hit the Floor. So I don't know if y'all ever saw that. But
Oh, with Charlotte Ross.
yes, she was
I
Raquel.
don't know what that is, but
It was on VH1, I
It
think.
was on VH1.
oh wow, okay, okay.
It was a soapy show. It was good. I liked it.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't know. At
need to
first
see
I was
it
like,
now.
I know this girl, but I have no idea who she is. But it was
Well, look, he flirted with her right in front of Carly.
Yes.
And if I was on a date and some guy did that, I too would have stood up and walked away from the date because that was ignorant.
Heck,
And I know he did it like as a like he was just like, this is what I do. This is how I maintain relationships. And I would have been like, yeah, kiss my ass.
Carly's better than me because I wouldn't even comp him at that point.
Right? I wouldn't have comped him. I would have been like, pay full price.
Yeah, right.
Plus a 20% gratuity for being a pig.
Right. Okay, so later on the week, Brennan gets a call from Vaughn outside of Bobby's, and he's training. He's the one that's training Jocelyn for the WSB. He says he wants hourly updates on Jocelyn. Carly and Brennan meet at Bobby's, and Carly tells him that she just can't deal with his lifestyle. She doesn't think that it's going to work for her. Brennan wants to commit to her, but she says no, she's not. It's just not going to work between them.
They just want to drag this out. They just want to slow burn this for us.
They just want to slow burn.
Would they just skip it and kiss?
yeah. They need to kiss under new actor.
Oh, yeah. They could just kiss. They could just kiss.
So we see Joss training for the WSB, and she's training with this guy Vaughn.
He's annoying.
Huh?
Yeah, he is.
He's annoying.
He's really good looking though, so it's okay.
Fine, it's another blonde. They give him another blonde?
And another blonde.
Why kill Dex?
Right.
Just to replace him with another random blonde. He's a handsome man, don't get me wrong, and he seems like a good actor. But this tough guy, I don't like a woman with ideals. Like,
yeah, he was very hard on her, and he was coming at her. He was trying to motivate her.
Bad intro. It's a bad intro.
And they fight, and I love when Jocelyn kicked him in the crotch, and he goes down.
He deserved that.
He did. He definitely deserved it.
But the thing is, I'm really kind of sick of them bringing on the male main characters and having them be a hard ass and then softening them up later. It's like, could you maybe, if he was like a mini Brennan, that would have been more interesting. I don't know. I was just like, this guy who comes in and goes, you can't have ideals because ideals become double agents or whatever nonsense he was spouting. And then he's just like, fight dirty, blah, blah, blah. It was a dark spot in a very bright week.
Yeah.
For me. If you loved it, comment below. Tell me I for my Sunny hatred.
Let's get into Jordan and Isaiah. I'll have to say it's finally. Yes.
Cute.
Jordan finds Isaiah at her door. He tells her that he collided with her delivery person and her lunch.
Hilarious. I was worried because at first I thought he was going to be like, I sent him away because I wanted to go to lunch with you. And then I was going to have to hate Isaiah. And then, but then he's like, no, I slammed into him and I knocked the pad thai all over the ground. And then I tipped him because I'm a jerk. And I was like, okay, I love you more now.
And Jordan's in her face mask and she's very embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I love this, but Isaiah's like, no, I like it. I like seeing you the way other people never see you. It was cute. Then they talk. Isaiah says he's going to whip up something for her since she ruined her lunch, but since he ruined her lunch.
And it sure looks like buttered noodles, doesn't it?
Right? So they discuss Sidwell, and they finally share a kiss, and this was awesome. Multiple kisses, but it was
multiple
great.
kisses, yeah.
But
they have to talk about it too, because like he's still like doesn't want her to do this Sidwell thing.
Yeah. No. Yep.
And he's got to learn that she's a cop. Like she was a commissioner and everything else. She's not going to back down if she thinks she can help.
Yeah.
Not for a guy she just started dating 3 seconds ago. They kissed for the first time that day. You got no ownership, guy. I know. The only ownership he has is that he's cute. He's really cute.
Very much. He is really cute. All right, so last thing we have to talk about is Lulu and Brooklyn's confrontation.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah,
Yes, that was good stuff.
it was really, really good. So Lulu arrives at the Q's and finds Brooklyn and Dante talking about Tracy and Sonny's argument about Geo, and Dante ends up leaving and to go see Sonny. And Brooklyn goes upstairs and she calls Geo and she says, how sorry she is and to call her if she needs anything. Lulu knocks on the door. I guess Lulu's allowed to go upstairs to Brooklyn's room. They're friends, right? They're friends. It's okay.
Are they?
They're totally friends. They love one another.
Right? So Lulu and Brooklyn get into the confrontation. Lulu taunts her and tells her that, she knows that she has a son. Brooklyn's very surprised to hear that she has a boy, and I felt really bad for Brooklyn in those scenes. She was, tearing up, getting upset. And I think both Amanda Sutton and Alexa Havens Broning did a fantastic job in those scenes.
I think they did too.
Oh yeah. Lulu came in the room self-righteous and arrogant. And by the end of the scene, realized like, uh-oh. And then came back around to being rude and arrogant because she was just like, I can blame you for your lies. And I'm like, okay, it's one lie of omission from like the 90s. Come on.
Yes. So Lulu shows Brooklyn the screenshots that she got from Martin, and she says, you must have been consulting with Martin. And Brooklyn says, no, I never consulted a lawyer. Like, I didn't even know I had a boy. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So Lulu quickly figures out that Lois was the one that was consulting with Martin because she was outside of the door as well. So Lulu threatens her and tells her that if she doesn't tell Dante, then she will. So that's where we're at with that.
The audacity.
Yeah. Right?
So much.
I did not think Lulu was right the way she came at Brooklyn like that.
No, Lulu's horrible. I'm sorry. She is not. She is not being understanding. She is not giving anybody in this scenario the respect that she got when she decided to have an abortion.
Like she pointed that out.
It's been pointed out to her. Carly, who is the worst at all of this, was like, you made the best choice for you, so she gets to make the choices for her. And then Brooklyn echoes that. She's like, well, you did what you did. I chose a different route and neither one of us is wrong. We have the right to make choices for ourselves. And she's just like, yeah, but you lied to Dante. And since I'm in love with him, I get to be horrible to you. And also, let's talk about the fact that Dante sends her out of the house when she's being horrible. He's just like, if you're going to be awful, get out. And I was like, yes, thank you for that. I loved that.
Okay, Karen, do you have anything to add or anything I missed?
I'd like to cut back to the conversation between Tracy and Gio because I really liked that Gio has been struggling all week with the idea of placement within the Quartermain clan. Like there's a million of them. And people keep telling him, she likes you. And he just can't understand because Tracy is such an aggressive, confusing person. Like her love involves insults and shoving. That he doesn't know where he fits. So this week he kind of earned a place in the family first with overstepping, which he did. I absolutely agree with like when he said, I overstepped and she says it's fine. It's only fine with her because she always oversteps. But he did overstep. He is not a member of that family in that way. But she was okay with it. And then like the pushback of that is that she really liked that he stood up for himself and that he wanted to make his own decisions. She was proud of him. And I love the idea that he's finding his footing in the family before he finds out he's a member of the family. So like he's Tracy, like half the battle's already won with Tracy. She likes him. And he's like saucy with her and she loves that. She loves a person who's smart and intelligent. The only other thing I would comment on is the conversation between Ned and Lois was amazing. I loved Ned. This was the first time we got like an early 2000s Ned comment in a long time because he said, I can't, I understand that you're loyal to Sonny. I don't like it. And then he brings up, he's like, and why are you so on Sonny's side in this? when you were the one that convinced with me Brenda to wear a wire, and I was like, wow, we're like,
Yep, I heard.
I was like, he pulled that one out. Wow, I was shocked.
he's not wrong though.
Yeah,
In that scenario, Sunny was horrible for Brenda. Brenda
Mhm.
was in fear for her life the entire time. They tried to do it as a friend. It backfired on her. It was like a whole horrible thing. But like Lois was not always this ride or die for Sunny. She always had, like he said, a separation basically of church and state between Sunny's money and their friendship. And
Mhm.
he's like, why wouldn't you let us? I agree with Tracy. Why wouldn't you let the Quartermains take care of this kid's future? Because we don't have those strings attached, because people who work with Sunny get hurt. So
Yep.
why do you want Gio to get hurt? What is the difference in this relationship than any of the other relationships we all have with Sunny? And Lois can't tell him because she's holding that big secret. But I really enjoyed Wallace Kurth. I love him so
Mhm.
much, and I think that he doesn't get to shine as often as he should.
No,
And
he
that was a
doesn't.
really he doesn't. And that was a really great scene for him.
It really was.
Also,
Angel,
this was a great week.
It was a
Angel,
great
do
week.
you have anything you want to mention or anything I missed?
Yeah, so I just want to mention, and I don't know why it took me so long to make the connection, that Gio is not only a Cirillo, he's a Quartermain and a
Yep.
Corinthos, and
Yep.
that makes Tracy and Sunny both this kid's grandparents. And
Yes.
Tracy's going to have a fit, and I am going to be here for it.
Well, Tracy is actually the great grandmother.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the great grandmother, yeah.
Ned
So,
and Lois are his grandparents. Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
So this is an insane situation. Like, too many families are connected. We're getting a little too close up in here.
Mhm.
Yeah, putting the family lines
Yeah,
together like
because
that, Angel. Come on, man, that's
and
crazy.
yeah, I mean, and
Mhm.
yeah, so I think the only person can he be with? He could be with Emma.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
They're already kind of.
They're already
but Jocelyn or Trina, but like they're not good matches for him. None of them are.
no.
Yeah, no, none of them are.
I
But
think
yeah,
I don't think Emma's a good match for him either. They're gonna have to find some other girl for him.
Mhm.
Or do something with Emma, because this bratty chemist,
yeah,
animal rights activist is
oh yeah,
very
right.
weird.
There was a whole thing with
Sure.
there was a whole thing with Maxie and Anna and Emma this week. I don't know if you brought it up or not.
Oh, we
No.
didn't.
Mhm.
Do you want to bring it up, or you want me to do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
bring it up. You bring it up because I remember this tape. I remember them sitting at the table, but I don't remember much about it.
Anna wanted Emma to take an internship at Deception because Emma has a chemistry background, and Emma took it as Anna trying to control her, which was no, Anna was trying to give her an opportunity. It's so irritating. And Anna left the table because she's like, whatever. And she had to go do she had to go check on Jason. But anyway, so they're sitting at the table, and Maxie says to Emma, she's like, don't blow this out of the water just because your mother wanted you to do this. But I'm not going to offer it to you if you don't want it, because there's a lot of people who do want it. So if you want to do it, do it. And she does talk to Gio about it. And Gio's like, you love chemistry. Why wouldn't you do it? So I think we're going to have her working at Deception. Although I don't know how that's going to go. There's going to be so much. Half the cast works at Deception now.
I really wanted them to explore further with the rivalry between her and Jocelyn. Like,
I think they will.
Yeah.
How can they though? Jocelyn
Jocelyn's at the WSB though.
Well, Jocelyn has character developed so far away from whatever nonsense they had going on when they were 8 that I think Emma can try and throw it into Jocelyn's face, but you know how when one person is really emotionally mature and the other one isn't, the emotionally mature person is just like, sure, Jan. Like, they don't care about that anymore.
Right? True.
But I don't necessarily want it to be like from like their past. I want something from their present to like make them even more enemies.
You want them to be enemies?
I want them to be enemies, yeah.
All right,
because that's Carly's daughter and Robin's daughter, and I want something to happen between them.
Oh my goodness. I, on the opposite hand, would have wanted them to date to make it really messed up and fun. Because then both parents would have to interact. I mean, obviously, you'd have to recast Robin. But that would be so funny if their kids dated. That would be so funny. I would die laughing if that happened.
Well, they have a son, don't they? Robin and Patrick. They have a son, right? Noah.
Yeah.
Yes,
How old he is
yes, they
now?
do.
Off screen, yeah. Off screen.
Yeah, off screen. Yeah,
Yeah,
because Noah's also Patrick's father's name.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have named the baby after him.
Right.
He's a hoe in the 80s, just so you know. No, Drake, he's a hoe.
All right, everybody, we'll wrap up this edition of Queers and Stoves. This is our GH coverage for the week. Please join us on Patreon, where we are going to be discussing a clip of the week, and we also are going to pick our performers of the week. Excuse me. So the nominees this week are, for clip of the week, Brad tells Lucas the truth. Maxie stalls Martin. Alicia takes James to GH. Alexis and Sidwell's Alexis and Sidwell's interaction.
Yes, these are all good choices.
Confrontation.
I can't just. These are all so good.
How do you pick this week because they're so hard to decide?
How do you pick? Do you like throw them in a hat, or like what do you do?
I know.
What's the permutations? How do we figure this out?
Well, we'll figure it out. So join us on Patreon and find out who won. So we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.